The healing gift for this Sunday is the gift of remembrance. The remembrance that we are eternal beings, that we are connected. And so as our ministers, practitioners raise their hands and share their energy today, I want you to let any thoughts of separation melt away. I'm just going to invite you to close your eyes and feel the energy. Let any thoughts of being alone or separate just melt away as we remember that there is only one of which we are all a part. And take this moment to feel the invisible threads that not only connect us here in this room, that not only connect us to the people here on this beautiful planet Earth at this sacred and special time, but that connect us now and always to the beautiful souls that have gone before us, that have passed on from this physical existence. And take this moment right now to open your heart and use the heart communication that transcends any realm or any dimension, and let that heart just speak words of love, appreciation, words of forgiveness possibly, words of gratitude and thankfulness. Say, I love you. I love you. I love you. And from this open place, feel the abundance of love that is showered upon each and every one of us from the band of angels that blesses this and every moment. And know, as our beautiful ministers and practitioners have their hands raised and their hearts open and have created a field not only of connection but of healing energy. Feel the healing power and presence of God's light and God's goodness that is present here, and speak a word of someone you know right now would benefit from this healing right here. Speak those names. As you feel the light and healing power of God's love and the angelic energy, just take those names and bless them and send that healing light right here and right now. It is so good. We say thank you, God. And so it is. And thank you all, practitioners and ministers, for sharing your love and your light with us today. My theme today is unwrap your spiritual gifts. And that's what we just did. We just unwrapped the spiritual gift of remembrance. We just unwrapped the spiritual gift that allows us to always be connected. So I'm going to ask you, because you're unwrapped, at least a little bit, to just be honest. How many of you have at least once this season so far said you weren't in the mood for Christmas or quite in the Christmas spirit? Come on, show me. I know. We do that when we forget. Remember, I said Christmas is about remembering. And that beautiful reading that John said, it's about heaven is Right here. It's what we make it. It's when we remember. How can you forget? I mean, we were singing this song, how could anyone tell you you're anything less than beautiful? How can you tell yourself you're anything less than beautiful? A miracle. If we really remember who we are the creative expressions of life itself. We are the way God, creative intelligence, universal energy, whatever you want to call it, knows itself. That energy of creativity is us. Spirit expresses as us. How could we be anything but whole, beautiful, and magnificent? We get out of the spirit, the mood of Christmas, when we forget who we are. Now, I want to tell you, these spiritual gifts that we're talking about this morning aren't necessarily the gift of the talent you have. It's the gift of the charisma, the connection, the energy that you share. That's what we're talking about today. That's the spiritual gift I'm talking about. The gift of being the connection of love and light and goodness. Now I want to read you a quote from Science of Mind magazine. It came from some time ago, I don't know how many years ago, and it was written by Ernest Holmes, talking about Christmas. So my goal this morning is that nobody leaves here not filled with the spirit of Christmas, because Christmas is simply being filled with the remembrance of who we are and why we're on this planet together at this time. He said, the love that manifests through our gifts to each other typifies the offering of life. Our gifts that we give are simply the extension of God's love to us. The givingness of spirit to all its creations. After all. Now I want you to take a moment, and if you look at your hands or just feel your hands, just be present in this next sentence, because this is a reminder. After all, the hands of the eternal are outstretched through our hands. And the heart of the infinite beats through our heart, through the human breast. We are that creation. We are the way God expresses itself. But Ernest Holmes goes on to say, but the giver must give of him or herself. We have it already in us. Did you get that? We have it already in us, but we must be the givers of life. He takes a quote from the Bible, from 1 Corinthians, I think. I can't remember, but it sounds good. And he said, the gift without the giver is bare. The gift without the giver is bare. I want you to think on that one for a minute. This time is not about just going into the commercialism of Christmas and getting gifts because you have to, or what you need to do, because those gifts are bare. He goes on to say, it is not enough to give money to a great cause, but it's a really good thing to do. No, he doesn't have it in here. It's not enough to give money to a great cause or to give a lavish gift. True giving, and this is the spiritual part of the spiritual gift thing I'm talking about, is in the kindly thought, the tolerant mind, and the gentle act. That's the true gift. The kindly thought, the tolerant mind, and the gentle act. Love alone can give love. Love alone can give love, which means we have to do our work. We have to do our work to get in that place. We have to have our spiritual practices that keep us grounded and aligned with the love that's already there, that we get separated from because we forget, and this is a time to remember. He said, only goodness can really do good. Along with any true gift must come interest, enthusiasm, and love. That's essential to any gift this season, is the gift of who we are. It's the gift of light. Now, I do have a couple of Bible quotes that I do know where they came from. So I want to share those with you because I want you to take these personally. I want you to take them very personally. I want you to understand that they're meant for you and me. Every person has their proper gift from God. How can you say you're anything less than beautiful and perfect and wonderful? That comes from 1 Corinthians. There are many diversities of gifts. We're all different and unique, but there is only one Spirit. We all come from the same place, and we have a perfect part to play right here and right now. If you and I do not accentuate and cultivate and activate the gifts that we are, if we don't utilize these special gifts, we are denying God and goodness and life full expression. We're denying that if you and I don't give the gift that we are. It doesn't mean that we can't get cranky sometimes. Of course we get cranky sometimes. Just ask Kirk. But it's okay, because it's, do we return to that goodness that we are? Now, these true spiritual gifts I'm talking about, again, in Corinthians, which is all about love, or mostly about love, says the manifestation of Spirit is given to man for the common good. For the common good. It means sometimes, well, our true gifts are always for common good, but we need each other to remember who we are. We truly need each other because that's why we're here together. Some of you know that Kirk and I are in the midst of the throes of moving. I found 2 shoes that match today. I'm so happy. But it's an interesting process because inherent in any move of any sort, if it's a move of a home as we're doing, or a move of a job, or a move of a relationship, or a move of any sort, there's chaos. Because there has to be chaos in creation. So whenever there's something new, the old has to break down. And being an optimist isn't always easy, because you forget sometimes how hard things are. And it's been pretty hard. Now, I won't tell you that Kirk wasn't feeling well at the beginning of the week and I told him to go to the doctor, because I didn't want him sick for our move. I won't tell you that part. And I won't tell you that he didn't go. So Friday morning is our move day, and he's sick as a dog. I didn't remind him that I told him. I'm just reminding all of you. But I called the doctor and made an appointment for him. So here, the crew of movers are coming, and I send Kirk off to the doctor. Well, remember, we've been married a very, very long time, and we've moved a lot. And he's been my right arm. So here I am. I wasn't an optimist at that time. I started as that, but I didn't continue. Anyway, we're in that, and there's just things going on everywhere, and I did have a beautiful friend there helping, and there's just all this stuff going on. And we get to our new place, which we love, but it's very tiny. We did downsize, but we still brought way too much stuff. And the cable guy comes, which is really an important thing, because you do feel like sitting down and watching something or doing something, right? This was the cranky cable guy. I don't know if any of you have ever had one of those. It was truly a nightmare. Really, it was a nightmare. There's cables running all over the place. He said our big television had broken and it wasn't working, and he was cranky. I heard some 4-letter words that I'm sure I was not supposed to hear. But, who did I want to be? So I said to him, so how's your day going? And he said, "Not so good. I'm supposed to be at my daughter's Christmas play." And I have 2 more appointments. And every one so far has been like this, a difficult one. And I'm like, oh my God, you've got to go. That's the most important thing. You've got to get to your daughter's Christmas play. And he looked at me and he goes, "Oh my gosh, but I can't leave you with nothing here." And I said, "Well, just hook something up. It doesn't matter. You have got to be at your daughter's Christmas play." Believe me, I used to be an elementary school teacher. I know how important those plays are. I know. And he said, "But I've got 2 more appointments." And I said, "Well, let's just know they go easily. Let's just keep that mindset. And I want you to go to your daughter's Christmas play. It's really important." So, he hugged me. And he just said, "Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas." And he said that like 3 times walking out the door. We were left with a humble jumble of wires and mess and everything else, but he left with a happy heart because he needed to know that he mattered. He's not just a cable guy. He's a dad and a man and a person who deserves to be understood. So I just pray. I just sat down in the midst of all this stuff. And I prayed for him that he could get to his daughter's performance, even if it was just for a bit of it. We need each other. We need each other. But let me tell you, the story doesn't end there. Because when we open ourselves up to the spiritual gifts, life rushes in to help us. The next day I had a band of angels come over and fix things and took all those wires away and fixed my computer, got my television working. Not that I've had any time to watch it or sit down or anything, but it's there, and got everything cleaned up and worked and took care of things and brought some delicious soup for Kirk and some dinner. Kirk didn't help too much. No, he did. He needs to help more, but no, I help himself more. I didn't mean help there. He needs to get better. But life doesn't let us down when we're in the right place. It may not be in the way we think, but we have to be open. Howard Thurman is one of my very, very favorite theologians and mystics. And here's what he said. He wrote a beautiful book called The Mood of Christmas. I'm sorry I didn't bring it down here because it's a little book that was published quite some time ago, and it was republished again. And I have little sticky notes all through the book because there's so many potent reminders of what this season is all about. But he says, there must always be in every person's life some place for the singing of angels. I want you to take this personally again. There always must be a place in everyone's life for the singing of angels. A place where the commonplace, now many of us know the commonplace, when you have too much to do and not enough time, when you have too much to get and not enough money, where you want to do something with somebody and you feel alone. You know that commonplace, it is just not the best place. But he said the commonplace is shot with a new glory. When it comes that we can stop and take a breath and remember why we have chosen to be here at this time on the planet. For the common good. For the common good. He said, a place where we know we belong to God and we belong to one another. Now, it's not by accident that we're here on this. This is a really, 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 really potent day. This is a transformational time right now in this year. This is the time of the winter solstice, the darkest time of the year, where the sun takes a pause in the darkness. And it rests. But the beauty is This is not something that happens very often. Winter solstice, and this is the time of the new moon, the little fresh new moon, which means new beginnings. So this is a really potent time for us to rest in, not I won't say the darkness, but rest in that place within. To set an intention, of course, what we really want. Who do we really want to be if we're going to be the sharer of our spiritual gifts? Who do we want to be on the planet right now? And to let go. I really want you to listen to this one. And to let go of any of the disappointments, the resentments, the problems that this year has created for us. And I know there's been many, not just for us personally, but in our world. This is a time of miracles. And when you and I choose, really choose, to let the miracles be the faith that we hold, we can change things dramatically. But it's imperative that we let go. So if you'll take a moment and just close your eyes and take a nice deep breath. And know that it is not by accident that we are here together. It is not by accident that life is giving us the beautiful, beautiful opportunity to be at the time of the winter solstice, the darkest time of the year. And the gift of the new moon, the new beginning. And if we just settle into the dark time and see what is it right now that we're ready to let go of, because if we don't let go of these disappointments, resentments, upsets, angers, if we don't let go of them, they get a hold on us. They become like chains on our feet, on our ankles, on our mind, on our heart. And we get wrapped in the illusion of separation. So I'm going to invite us just to let go right now of whatever it is from this past year that has been a disappointment, a problem. Let it go. Remember, we are the creative energy of God. We are that. We are the hands of God expressing the light, the love, the healing power of God right now, of good, of life, of joy. We are that. So let go of all that stuff and just in your heart voice just say, I've learned what I need to learn, or I'm open, still open to learn what I need to learn. I'm open. And let it go. Let it go. Let all of it go. Just undoing the ties that bind. Letting go. And we're remembering that Jesus was here to teach us just two simple things: to love God with all our being and to love others as we love ourselves. That's not a one-way street. So right now, infuse yourself with worthiness, with beauty, with goodness, with wholeness. Just breathe it in because it's who we are. It's our truth. And connect with that spiritual gift that we are, our unique spiritual gift. It may be compassion or strength or kindness or peace or forgiveness or joy. What is the spiritual gift that is yours to share? Understanding. What is it? Let that be the truth for you right now. And as you really embody that and let it fill every cell of your being, let the intentions for this new year start percolating. We still have 10 days before New Year's Eve, but this is a time to let the newness start percolating at this time of the winter solstice, at this time when we're coming out of the darkness into the light of new beginnings. So let that be the truth for you. And take a nice deep breath. And just at the count of 5, I'm going to ask us to come back together in this room. 1, letting go of everything that is not for my highest good. 2, allowing life to not only nourish me, but be the nourishment I share. 3, feeling filled with the healing power of God's love. 4, unwrapping the spiritual gift that I am, that I might give and share myself for the common good of all. Holding the knowing right now that I am a creator, an expression of life. I am the way life unfolds for the greater good. And then just on this count of 5, feeling renewed, renourished, rejuvenated, and remembering the truth of who I am and who we are. I invite us to come back here together in this room. Whoo! You are beautiful. You are amazing. What a beautiful vision of gifts under the Christmas tree. The InSpirit community. How good it is. And will you just speak after me? I am a gift to be shared. I am love in action. I am the way life knows itself. And turn to the person next to you each side and say, and I need you. And you. And you. And you. And you. I need all of you to remember who I am. Because you see, when we remember who we are, we can't help but remember who every person here is. And thank you all for being my gifts and helping me remember who I am. Thank you. I love you all. God bless you and happy holidays.